Good afternoon, South Africa, and a very warm welcome to you. This is Afternoon Express. My name is Jeannie D.
And I'm Danilo Akwiso. It's so good to be with you on this Thursday afternoon. I hope your day has been awesome.
And of course, Thursday brings you all of the best fashion and beauty advice. And of course, we've got some amazing guests on the show today. We have an incredible actress. She actually started off on Generations, The Legacy, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about her journey. And she's got a very, very exciting fitness range out as well.
Indeed. Her name is Asanda Foji, and she's got such a story to tell. I cannot wait for that. Also today, if you're one of those people who's really struggling to figure out about that receding hairline of yours, perhaps you're somebody trying to grow dreadlocks, we've got our expert in the building with us today. Jawad Mapoto is going to be sharing with us all the details on how to look after all sorts of hair on the show today. Plus, we've got motivational speaker and extreme swimmer Ryan Stamroet is going to be joining us in the loft. This man has got a story to tell, and you do not want to miss it.
Absolutely. But first up, it's time for another installment of our Dr. Anushka Reddy series. This week, we take a look at beauty with a purpose, where non-invasive techniques are helping to restore the natural contours of the face.
Yeah, Dr. Anushka Reddy takes us through the treatments which will improve medical conditions that affect your facial appearance. Take note as your beauty guide continues.
Medisculpt Clinic's world-class aesthetic treatments leave you feeling renewed and confident. Aesthetic treatments by Dr. Anushka Reddy not only enhance your best features, but also produce a healthier look for those with chronic underlying medical conditions. These conditions can cause a significant loss of volume and fat in the temples and cheeks, leaving you looking gaunt and tired. Tissue fillers can restore volume and elasticity, offering immediate improvement and reconditioning your facial contours for a youthful, plumper appearance.
I'm Jan Snyman. I have a medical condition that's affecting my face, and because of that, I shy away from people.
So certain medical conditions, when patients have this appearance, it gives them a very sickly, gaunt looking face. And obviously this appearance is not what they want to present to the world. And I think Mr. Snyman has been asked, why is he looking sick? Why is he looking tired? And I think he just wants everyone to stop asking him these questions.
I'm here today to see if there's something they can do to my face so it can be improved and so I can look better for myself.
We will now start with the treatment. We went into great detail about how we can actually improve your temples and your mid-face and get rid of that gaunt look that you don't like. So the whole idea is to reinflate these areas and give you a more healthy looking appearance. Is that good for you?
That's fine, yes.
Great. I'm going to start by marking your face. I want you to lift your eyebrows. Lift. Excellent. So the first area we're going to treat are your temples. I'm going to fill out your temples to get rid of this, what we call peanut appearance of that area. Again, just adding to a nice, healthy convexity of the face.
The results I'm looking for is maybe to improve my facial expression, the overall looks of myself, so that people can lift me up again.
The tissue filler I will be using today is mainly made out of hyaluronic acid. It's a long-lasting filler, and I'm going to be injecting it into those areas of his face that needs what we call reinflation. And this particular brand is trustworthy, it's FDA approved, and we know that it's going to give him the result he wants. The next area we want to treat is this entire concavity and in the mid-face. So Mr. Snyman, this is so important that this is done by a doctor who's experienced in doing these injections. They really need to know their anatomy in detail to prevent any major complications. The biggest difference these fillers are going to make in his life is it's going to get rid of that gaunt, unhealthy appearance of his face. What do you think? Can you see the difference?
Yeah.
Okay? I'm really happy with the results. I think Mr. Snyman is really going to be pleased.
It looked much better and more healthier.
And as you can see, we've plumped up the mid-cheek area, and you can see it's looking much healthier. We've also plumped up your temple, and you don't have that concavity anymore. So I'm quite happy with the results, and I'm sure you will be as well.
Yeah, it already looks much better.
Good.
I'm happy with the treatment. I'm already feeling good. and to me it wasn't painful.
I will probably see him in about 2 weeks' time for a quick review. If he does need a top-up, we'll do it at that point. He'll get excellent longevity on this. We're looking at about 18 months. So I think, yes, it was a really good procedure, and I think it will really make a difference to his self-esteem.
Wow, I'm always so inspired when you see the before and after photos so dramatically different.
Yeah. I always feel like with these things, I always want to like cringe to look away to realize like what's going on in those spaces. But obviously you're being looked after, you're numbed.
Of course, and you must remember he can't feel, so we're seeing what's happening and we feeling it for him almost. But he can't feel what's going on. But you know, I feel so much when I hear stories like this because you know your face, I feel, is always your billboard, your picture that you show the world to. And if you don't feel good about it, if you're not feeling confident from within, then I think it must be really sad. You know, I'm so happy that there are options available to him.
Feeling so overfilled with joy after knowing that he can now use those expressions. I think one of the things that I felt like so touched by was when he said, you know, I struggle to show emotion with my face. I'm struggling to show those emotions. So now to be able to do that, I think is so beautiful.
Oh, well, thank you so much to Dr. Anushka Reddy. I mean, he really does look so much better already. Now, diminishing volume in the skin can cause the face to take on a negative, sad or stressed look. Now, these treatments will help restore your skin's elasticity and result in a fuller, more youthful you. So make sure to follow Dr. Anushka Reddy on Instagram for the latest updates in the aesthetics treatments. Now, next week, we find out how to get rid of unwanted skin in the neck area. So make sure to tune in for your weekly beauty guide as we give away a 5,000 Rand Medisculpt voucher. You don't want to miss that.
Indeed, that's coming up next week. But coming up after the break right here on Afternoon Express, I'm busy trying to prepare myself for a triathlon. One of the things I'm most nervous for is the swim. Ryan Stramrud joins us in the loft after the break because this man is an extreme swimmer and I now have no excuse, none whatsoever. We'll see you after these.
I'd like to see you do a triathlon. Welcome back to Afternoon Express, coming to you live on SABC3. Now, Ryan Stramrud, the man who swam Robben Island, crossing 69 times, is with us in the loft today to share his incredibly brave journey and talk about his upcoming ventures. He has successfully completed some of the world's toughest cold water long-distance swims and has completed ice miles within both the Arctic and Antarctic regions. And he's done all of this in only a Speedo. Well, I say Speedo, but actually, there was also that one time when you went from Russia to the USA completely naked.
No, I did not. That's a rumor.
No, was it a rumor?
I deny.
Really?
Yes.
Did you not do it?
No,
you were supposed
sometimes
to.
it gets confusing because the term naked refers to guys swimming in Speedos or wetsuit. So it's naked or wetsuit.
Okay, well, you
so I
see
didn't have
where
the
that
Speedo
would
on.
have caught me. You see where that would have caught my attention.
It would have gone viral.
But welcome to the show. You've
Thank
been
you.
here before.
I have indeed.
And I mean, you've just done so well. You've done such absolutely incredible stuff. Just to remind our viewers, how did your journey with extreme swimming begin?
Well, I'm glad you said the word journey because that's exactly what it is. You don't wake up one day and decide to do kind of the stuff that I'm doing. I first started swimming about 15 years ago, and my first big challenge was to get through the first swimming squad of about 40 lengths, which nearly killed me. And then slowly, you stick to it, and eventually I was challenged to do a Robben Island crossing from Robben Island to Bloberg. You mentioned I've done it 69 times. That was 2 days ago. It's now 71, so the tally keeps counting. And a lot of little things that I've deemed impossible for myself, I've then set as a goal and achieved and realized it actually wasn't as hard as I thought or as impossible. And I've just taken that journey to some silly levels.
Amazing. We've actually got a little clip here on some of the extraordinary things that you've done in water. Should we have a look?
You're capable of certain stuff physically until your mind tells you you're capable of more. There's nothing special about me. I wasn't destined to do great things in sport. It was never my dream growing up. I've kind of fallen into it. With swimming, it's very solitary. You're facing down, looking down into the deep ocean. You see stuff down there, and it keeps you alive.
That is so inspiring. It keeps you alive.
Very dramatic.
But I mean, were you an especially good swimmer? Because I've got this battle with myself where I want to be a runner. Like when I see people running just for I think it's so amazing. But 2 minutes on the treadmill is over for me. But now running in the ocean must be even more defeating. So you must have been a really good swimmer to start off with in order to...
Not at all, actually. I'm not a great swimmer. My coach, Gary Freeling, will tell you that openly. He's given up on trying to get my stroke right. But I do indeed love the water and I love swimming. And I've just taken it to different levels. It's a very challenging sport indeed. As you heard earlier, the triathletes, the swim, which is the shortest part, is usually the biggest challenge. But that's, don't ask me to run or cycle. I'm a swimmer, that's what I'll stick to.
How do you get your body to kind of acclimatize to such cold? I mean, Antarctica, that's freezing. That's dangerous to put your body in those levels.
Indeed.
So, I mean, I suppose your mind has got to be a lot stronger than what your body is then. But how do you train or prepare for something like that?
Yeah, 100%. It is very much a mental game, but you have to get your body ready. So first and foremost, if you're going to do something in extreme cold conditions, you're going to do a distance. You can't be fit just to swim that distance. You've got to be fit to swim a lot further because the cold impacts your body and your muscles profoundly, and it knocks a lot out of you. So I train a lot. I spend a lot of time in swimming pools to get fit. I spend a lot of time in our oceans in and around Cape Town. And I spend a lot of time in cold to condition my body. And then I do certain other things to condition my mind, as far when it's an extreme cold, like an ice bath, for example.
Really?
I will get a big tub. I usually go down to our local fishery down here, I&J. They fill up a tub of ice water. I bring that temperature down to 1 degree Celsius or 0 degrees, as close to naught as I can get it. I get in my Speedo and I sit in that for about 10 minutes. And, it's a terrible process. 10 minutes in a tub of ice, let me tell you how long that is. But while that's happening, I'm processing all the effects that are happening to my body. My mind is screaming at me to get out. It's that pain, panic, and fear that the defense mechanisms ignites. And I need to understand that and process it. And when I'm taking on a challenge in an extreme place, that I can understand that process and not be scared of it and try and extend my time wherever I'm going to go.
And what is happening to your body when it's literally freezing? Like, how come it's not dangerous for you, where for anyone else who to fall into that water, it would be pretty damaging to them?
Well, first and foremost, I'm absolutely normal, so it's as dangerous for me as anybody else. However, I've trained to extend my time. There is an end point. You know, at some point, you're going to lose all the warmth in your body, and hypothermia is going to kill you. A couple of us, however, because of our conditioning, because of the time we spend in those conditions, we have extended that quite greatly.
Okay. Now, just because vanity is my only vice, I've got to ask, what kind of damage does that do to your skin, though, as well? Being in the salty water or being in an ice-cold bath, that must be, I mean, it's either anti-aging or it's going to age you. Like, what kind of effects does it have on your skin?
A lot, you know, starting from the swimming pool exposure where I'm in chlorine for many hours of every day, then into the salt waters where I do a lot of training, add the element of cold, and then even add things like the jellyfish and blue bottle sting. So my skin takes a hammering for sure.
So then what do you use?
I use the Dermi-Kelp product. I've partnered with them now as well, but it's absolutely the natural product for me. And I'm very proud to be partners with them because it's actually derived from the very place that I do my activities, from the sea kelp, and it's cortisone free. It's something I can use every day, so it's working extremely well.
Absolutely. Now, I said you had swum from Robben Island 69 times. It's now 71, which means you're obviously in training. Is this for your Northern Channel swim?
From the North Channel, yes.
The North Channel. That's Ireland to Scotland.
Ireland to Scotland, correct.
That's
so
exciting.
for my sins, I've signed up to make an attempt to swim from Ireland to Scotland. I did it 2 years ago with as a relay where we swam from Ireland to Scotland and back. I think that's where we spoke last time, Jeannie. A relay with 6 people, very different. I'm now going to try and do it solo. It's a long distance, 35 kilometers. It's rated as one of the most difficult swims in the world to do.
Why is
channels.
it? Is it cold?
It's far and it's very cold.
Okay.
And they're unpredictable currents, and there's also a beast that lives there called the lion's mane jellyfish, who I've met many times. And,
Tell me about the lion's mane jellyfish.
It's huge. You should Google it
Is it like
at home.
huge?
Yeah, it gets as big as your car. The average size will probably be, I don't know, about that size, but it's got sort of 20 foot of tentacles that just go everywhere and you can't avoid it.
And it just wraps around you?
You get stuck in it. It's absolutely
How are you not scared that it can it pull you under?
It doesn't, no, it doesn't pull, you know, it just floats, but it stings you proper. So you get that all over you, and the worst is when it wraps around your nose, you know, your goggles fill up with tears because it's so sore. But that said, it's so cold that you actually only feel half the effect. It's when you get out that the accumulation of the poison catches you.
And then how do you look after yourself once you get out of the water? Is it just blankets or do you have a whole treatment?
There's a recovery process usually. Now, the North Channel is a very, very cold swim. It's not an ice swim. Ice swimming is from 5 degrees Celsius and below. North Channel is just a very long time, probably 12 to 14 hours that I will be exposed to.
Is that how long you're going to be in the water for?
Yes, it will.
Wow.
In 12 degrees wearing only my Speedo. Now, I'm hoping, I'm not arrogant enough to say I'm
telling
going
everybody
there to do
naked still.
I'm going to attempt it, and I hope it lets me across. I really do. I'm doing the training. And yes, when I get out, there's a recovery process. I have to reheat. So, you know, a lot of the warmth has been sucked out of me. And so the first priority is to get my core temperature back to where it should be, and then I start worrying about everything else and my daily skincare and everything else.
Well, then you know that you are one of our heroes here at Afternoon Express. So we're sending you all of our love and all of our luck, and I'm pretty sure you're going to absolutely nail it. Best of luck. Best wishes.
Thank you so much.
I'm so excited for you.
Appreciate your interest.
having a good and healthy skincare routine is an absolute must, especially if your bare skin is subject to ice-cold water conditions and chlorinated pools like Ryan's. Now, Dermi-Kelp has been dermatologically tested and clinically proven to rapidly smooth and protect itchy and irritated skin, and the unique formulation is free of cortisone and other harmful additives, making it suitable for long-term use and ideal for all ages.
I'm literally taking down so many notes of this product because I've got a cousin who I live with who is adamant that he refuses to buy anything, and he always tries to make these home remedies. So I'm going to make sure and make note of this and buy it for him for his birthday or for Christmas. And it got me thinking, that's why I posted this on our Facebook page at the moment. The question is, do you have any beauty tips or homemade lotions or potions that you can't live without, that you make yourself? Because it just reminded me so much of my cousin. And Iketeng says, afternoon, lovely people. I can't stay without treating my face with honey and avocado face mixture. It really does wonders on my face. Julia says, yes, I use avocado to keep my face shine and it keeps it looking good. Raisibe says, I use a mixture of the following as body moisturizer: olive oil, castor oil, coconut oil, tissue oil, and then glycerine, which is optional. And then Erica made a little comment on some of those other ones. She says, I'd rather eat the avo. Coconut oil for my hair does wonders. Thanks for a great show. You guys can keep your comments coming through. What are you guys using as your home remedies? How and why do you make those? Now, it's also time for us to get into a competition on Afternoon Express. If you're in Durban this weekend, you can head over to the East Coast Radio House and Garden Show and visit the Grundig stand. Find out their competition entry forms. You fill it out at the actual stand itself and you drop it into their box that they've got there. It's a competition box. And you can stand a chance of winning a one-of-a-kind exclusive culinary experience with our very own Clem Pedro. The competition is valid from the 1st to the 4th of July, and winners will be announced on Afternoon Express live on the 4th of July. So make sure you enter that competition as soon as you can, and we'll be right back after these. A warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3 on this Thursday afternoon. And our next guest for today made her acting debut on Generations The Legacy, where she played the humble rural beauty, Simpiwe Maroka.
Now, since leaving the show, she's followed a passion for fitness and entered into the entrepreneurial space with her very own activewear range. It's Asanda Foji. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Good. So, I mean, the world met you, or South Africa met you rather, on Generations, The Legacy. But let's learn a bit about your legacy. Where did it all start for you? You're from the Eastern Cape.
Yeah.
When did you develop your love and your passion for acting?
I went to a public school from Eastern Cape. So the first time we had a drama teacher, I was doing grade 7, standard 5.
Yeah.
And I was one of the first people who said, yes, I want to, because obviously we ate quiet in the morning, prayer and stuff. And I was one of the first people who said, I want to be an actress. I want to join the teacher and the actors. And unfortunately, it was some aunt who had one line in the story, but I knew that I wanted to grow with it. I loved it so much, and I went to high school, and there was no drama there because we were still under the public school. And then I was like, after high school, I just have to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I stalked you on Instagram, and I saw on your Instagram you love posting photos of when you go back home and your community out that side. I mean, what is life like? Were your parents interested in letting you pursue your dreams as an actress? Is the community outside that side very pro people going into industries that are as like volatile as the creative spaces?
My mom is always supportive. I think I've always been that girl who likes talking to other people, was very lively, and I think she knew that I would make it one day. Unfortunately, she's not with us right now, and when I got my debut on Generations, she wasn't around. But obviously her spirit is around, so she knows. So she was really, really supportive. Maybe I'm very fortunate I didn't have a father, because maybe he was not going to approve. Maybe he was going to ask me to be an accountant, and I was so bad at accounting. So she was very supportive. And Eastern Cape as a whole, they're supporters. But when we grow up, they're like, why would you want to be an actress? That's not a job. Why don't you be a nurse or something, or a teacher? Find a proper job. So now they're supportive because they see our faces making it. So, yeah.
Exactly. Now, how exactly did you end up on Generations? Did you move to Johannesburg? And what was your audition like?
I did acting here in Cape Town.
Okay.
And I told my mom I want to go to Joburg because I want to be an actress. And obviously, when I thought I'd get to Joburg, and after 2 months, I'm on Generations or a Sidingo or a Scandal or something, or backstage at that time.
Yeah.
And I got here, it took me about 6.5 years to get to Generations. And I had my first audition. Apparently, they were toy-toying when we auditioned. And, well, that's before the toy-toy, but I think it was in their heads, obviously. And I auditioned to be Jason's sister, younger half sister, and was shortlisted. And it was me and Namhla, the girl who plays Namhla now in Generations.
Yes.
And I remember our last audition, it was me and her, and she beat me to it. She got the job. And I forgot about it. And 3 months later, I think after the toy and stuff, I know this sounds really bad, but I don't read newspapers a lot. So I think it was all over paper. That way, toy. It's really bad because I'm an artist and I should know what other artists do out there, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know, and I'm getting this audition as this other artist or a character on Generations in Cuba. I'm thinking,
what, Simpiwe? Yeah.
I watch Generations a lot, and I haven't heard about Simpiwe.
Well, obviously you had it because you were going to play her.
No, but it was a whole new character. She was like,
But now I'm thinking, because I auditioned for Jason's sister, this one is not anyone's sister or anyone's daughter. I'm like, okay, I wonder who she's going to be. Okay. And apparently that time, Generations was not even shot anymore, but it was still on air. That's why we didn't know.
Okay.
So I auditioned, and it took me about 6 auditions to get the role. We were shortlisted. There was 100, maybe 1,000, 150, 40, whatever. And I remember just before I got the role, I thought it was my last audition. Because I prayed so much. I was like, oh my God, this is mine, God. I couldn't even sleep. I had eye bags for days. I was even like this. Oh my God, even lost weight. After 6 auditions, can you imagine? And 2 months, because I get called, and it takes them 3 weeks to call me again. I'm thinking, oh, I didn't get the part. Then they'll call me again, and they keep on getting my hopes up. And
But ultimately you got the role. I think that was the important part, was the first break that you got into a really big soap that had a lot of traction behind it. You built your audience that side, and then you had to leave the show.
Yes.
What happened?
Obviously, you guys know that there were stories on paper saying that we heard, well, there's always a fly on the wall in each and every building or company.
Yeah.
And I think that fly on the wall spilled the beans outside that I was going to leave. And I heard the news 3 months after I was there. Can you imagine? So I spent my last 9 months very miserable, but I couldn't, obviously I wasn't supposed to show it out there.
Yeah.
And I didn't even ask it because it was March, Easter's, and I started in
to focus on getting your new thing, you must focus on getting your new work, I'm sure.
And I remember I'm on my way to the airport, I'm going home to Eastern Cape, and I get home, I'm not, because I've got an older sister who's like a mother to me, I don't say anything, and she heard the news, but she wasn't going to ask me because she probably thought...
And you didn't know yet?
I had no idea. Sure. And we reopen in end of April, and I go back, and I don't even ask what's going on, and I shoot. I do my lines because I always know my lines. I'm always on point. And I do my lines. And at the end of the day, I'm going home, and Costas, one of our managers, he calls me to the office, and I go there. He says, I'm sure you heard what they're saying about you. Costas, what are you talking about? Because I'm an actress. So they say you're leaving the show, and we're not happy with the performance. We're really, really, really happy with the performance, Asanda. Don't listen to whatever they're saying out there. You're not going anywhere. And I was going somewhere. And someone told me there's no smoke without fire. I was very naive and still new in the industry. And
Well, you know what? You certainly haven't taken many knocks, and I think you've definitely held this one with your head way up high, and you're bouncing back in a big way. We're going to be chatting to you a little bit later to find out exactly what you're up to now, because you're absolutely killing it.
We cannot wait to see what comes for you, and I'm so excited to talk about this fashion range, because one of the things that I'm very excited to talk about, your fitness stuff, it's all one of the things that I love so much. So stay right where you are, because after the break we have celebrity hairstylist Jawad Mapoto, and he gives us some practical hair care tips, answering questions you sent us online.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. Now, the Skip Fashion Exchange is around the corner, and this is where Skip shows us just how much they care about our clothes. Here is a throw forward of what we can expect at this year's event, and later we find out how Siemens ensures your garments get the love they deserve.
The Fashion Exchange is an event where you can meet, network, and share your love of clothes. It's a perfect opportunity for you to refresh your wardrobe with other cared-for garments. The idea is simple. People bring along their pre-loved garments and exchange them for someone else's pre-loved garments. It's a win-win for you, your wardrobe, and other fellow fashion lovers. Skip wants to show you just how much they care for your clothes. So bring along your items that never leave your closet and exchange them for other fabulous pieces. The event kicks off at the Sandton Shopping Mall from Tuesday the 4th of July and will be open to public until the 31st of July. Remember that you can only participate in the exchange if you arrive with your ready-to-swap garments in hand. You'll be able to exchange your clothing with equally cared-for items.
The Siemens iSensoric machine was designed with the consumer in mind. We use a very consumer centricity approach. That is why the full touch LED display is user-friendly and has large buttons to push. This machine has an automatic program. It will detect the textile of the clothing as well as the dirtiness. It will then self-dose and wash on the correct program to prevent the fabric from damaging and prolong the life of your clothing. From my personal experience, I always wash dark colors and also bright colors on a cooler wash. This will prevent any fading or bleeding of the colors. You're absolutely right. Skip Auto is a detergent we recommend for the cleaning and caring of your garments. It works perfectly with this machine and will deliver excellent results.
Now, if you are a fashion lover, then caring for your clothes should come naturally. So instead of hanging onto the garments that never see daylight, visit the pop-up store in the Sandton City Shopping Centre from Tuesday, the 4th of July, until July the 31st, and exchange your cared-for items for other pre-loved pieces. And for more information about the Skip Fashion Exchange, visit our website, afternoonexpress.co.za.
Skip loves your clothes as much as you do.
All right, welcome back. So now we're going to be talking about something slightly different on Afternoon Express. Over the past few Thursdays, we've discussed the importance of a healthy scalp and how it relates to bold, expressive hairstyles. And the response on social media has been astounding. So we've brought back celebrity hairstylist Jawad onto the show today. He's also a hairstylist and ambassador for Head & Shoulders. He is going to be sharing some of his thoughts and ideas on how to take care of your scalp and your scalp care concerns. And of course, to school me on black hair. Welcome back to the loft. It's good to have you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Dude, it's always, I find it so fascinating when you talk about these things because there's so much to consider when it comes to looking after hair. It's one of the things that we always tend to neglect. It's like, what, just wash your hair, then it's going to get sorted. So what we did is on social media, we've asked people what their questions were. So instead of me asking mine, I thought we'd ask yours on social media. So let's take a look at our first question that came through. And it was from Matimu, who says that the Head & Shoulders African Scalp Care range, hair food and moisturizing scalp care has restored her hairline. And I know receding hairlines is always one of the biggest things when it comes to weaves, right?
Yeah.
So how do we go about preventing that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that happens when it comes to hairline, and I mean, most ladies don't really do care and giving their scalp a break because I mean, they do a lot of styles that pull the hair and not making sure that you actually get to apply. As you can see, my lady here with relaxed hair. I mean, sometimes you get to use chemicals or braids that can pull that. Does affect a lot when it comes to hairline.
So we could talk all about this, but I want to show people what to do. So there's some really cool products you brought with you. Let's show on our first model like exactly how can we go about treating these things.
Yeah, I mean when it comes to hairline, I mean we do have an African scalp care range whereby you can see she does have a good hairline, but just making sure that you apply it along your scalp. But I think the most important thing is because there's a lot of tension, stress, and a whole lot of things that happens around the nerves. So when you apply it, you massage it, it does help to actually stimulate the hair growth and the hair can grow healthier. But if you do a lot of things to your hair, that when it's gone, it's gone. It's never coming back.
So do use those things less. Don't do as much work as you would do normally on your hair, girls. As well as to find the right products to go and treat those. And Head & Shoulders have got those for you. Let's go find out our next question on social media. Bonono says that she used all kinds of products for her dreadlocks, but nothing seems to be working. And I'm hoping Jawad's got a solution to that, because dreadlocks are one of the hardest things to do. Everyone else just thinks that they're dirty, but they're not.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing when it comes to dreadlocks, I think most salons don't really care about the care for hair.
Yeah.
They always care about the styling more than how to make sure that you care for the hair, because the dreadlocks are hair, and if you actually take care of it, you wash it nicely every now and then. You can still use your wax, but at least in between when you do your treatments, you can use the hair foot to actually twist the dreadlocks. Yeah, we do have the hair foot.
So let's go to our second model and have a look at the stuff.
Yeah, so
your dreads are amazing. I love them.
No, they're quite beautiful. I mean, what you do, I mean, like how they normally do the twist, because this hair food will actually nourish, and then when you apply it from the roots, it helps to actually go to the
nourish it as it grows out. So you're going to keep applying, grows out with that nourishment.
And it also helps a lot with shine, because sometimes it can look a bit dull, you know. But and I mean, in between, you can actually apply it on the scalp. It does help to stimulate the hair, and so that the hair can become healthier.
Very good advice. Let's get to our third and final question on the show today. Nolu Vuyo says, I struggle with my hair and on most days feel like cutting my natural hair. Dandruff is a real problem, especially when I have braids. Woo! It's a nightmare. I end up taking them out early. And I see that our third model is nodding. She's like, yeah. So I'll take this one back for you and give us some advice.
Yeah, I think when it comes to braids, I think what is important is making sure that you also do actually care for your scalp in between. But this is the spray that actually helps the itch, because sometimes most when it comes to braids, it itches a lot, you know, but it has got the lines. So when you spray this and you actually massage it into the spaces, you can actually get to have your braids for a slightly longer time, but it's a bit, you have to be cautious because the more longer you keep it, the more it will actually
So let's show people how to do that, because I think I'm happy for you to use the product. You're happy for us to use the product on you. I want to see how this actually works, because massaging it in can be quite sensitive if your skull, if it's freshly done braids, or if you've got many of them, it might be quite hard to get it in there. So show us how the experts do it.
Because you know how they normally do it, they actually do pet a lot, and maybe sometimes kids think it's a style or anything like that. But this is a spray that you just spray it in the hair.
Okay.
And then it also serves as a treatment, and you just massage it in, and you just wait for a few seconds. Then it will actually cool you down.
Okay, so it cools down the scalp, moisturizes the skull as well.
Yeah, it does. And it is more like a leave-in treatment.
Amazing. Yeah. Awesome stuff. Well, there you have it. Some really cool advice from our celebrities hairstylist, Jawad Mapote. We're bringing you more advice on the show. Head & Shoulders is giving away a hair makeover 2 for you. So he's going to be by celebrity hairstylist Jawad, and that's to the value of 10,000 Rand. And the winner and a friend and a year's supply of Head & Shoulders hair care products could be yours. So simply SMS the keyword WIN, your name and city to 33650 to enter into the lucky draw, and you could walk away with this fantastic prize. SMSs are R1.50 each and no free SMSs apply. T's and C's can be found on afternoonexpress.co.za.
Now, this weekend is, of course, the Vodacom Durban July, and it is the one time of the year that I get extremely lucky. If you also want to get just as lucky, you can listen after the break to find out how you can win big and learn how to bet. We're coming up after this.
Express yourself. Live scratch-free with new Head & Shoulders African Scalp Care.
back with us on Afternoon Express on SABC3. It's a Thursday afternoon. We're preparing and launching for that weekend that's ahead of us. And the Vodacom Durban July is also going to be happening, and it's a major, major social and fashion event on the South African calendar. But also, it doubles up as one of the biggest highlights on the sporting front. Great news for horse racing enthusiasts, as we have betting expert Dean Finder in the loft with us today to give us some final horse racing tips before the weekend kicks off. So, Dean, we've unpacked quite a lot about what it is and how this is all going to work. But the big question is, how much does this event make? Like, how much do people eventually end up betting on a weekend like the Durban July?
So it's got a few dimensions to it. It's a huge betting event. So a lot of the racing purists and punters, you know, stake a lot of money. There's 12 races on the day. There's lots of exotic bets. There's lots of different options. But it's also great for the economy of KZN, of course, because you get a lot of visitors and tourists coming in. So there's spend all round. So the restaurants, the hotels. I mean, if you try and get into anywhere now, you've got no chance of getting in near Durban. So from a betting perspective, it's probably the biggest betting horse racing event in South Africa.
Wow.
What
about numbers, though? What about numbers?
Close to 100 million.
Wowza.
Bet.
Wowza, wowza.
Yeah.
And if I'm one of those people who wants to put money down in a race like this, I mean, if I'm a punter, is that what they're called, right? Someone
Correct.
Who bets. Like, how much...
You're going to be a punter soon.
I'm going to be. I'm not going to any other horse racing events from now on without putting some money down. But what do I go to look for? Like, what do I look for in a horse? Or do I just go based on what everyone else is doing from like a ranking perspective? Do I be safe? Do I be risky? How do you know what to look for?
If there's 14 contestants in a race. Theoretically, all 14 have got a chance of winning.
Okay.
So your professional punters, or those who think they're professional punters, have studied the form. They look at where the horse ran last time, the jockeys that are riding it, the good jockey. There's obviously jockeys that are better than other jockeys. There's jockeys that are doing well at this present time. So the public and the punters tend to follow, you know, what's been happening recently, and then they will come to a decision. But there's nothing to stop you saying, oh, there's a horse running called Lunchtime, and I've just eaten lunch, you know, and maybe I want to go and back that. So, and people do those kind of things, and sometimes the luck's with you.
But it doesn't really make sense to me, because you've got your betting odds, which are slightly different. I mean, they differ from horse to horse, which means that obviously the likelihood of that horse winning is not as high for whoever set up that race.
100%.
Okay,
so your favourite has obviously got a better chance than winning, and those odds that we displayed yesterday actually will reflect which horses have got a better chance of winning than the next.
Okay, so if it's the first time, I just follow those for now.
But it doesn't mean it's not run on paper.
Okay, cool.
The odds are done on paper. Or on the television, but they run on grass. And anything can happen.
Okay, anything can happen on that field. You know, anything could go wrong on the day. So, you know, put your money where you think you feeling is correct. And listen, in terms of your personal favourites, I'd love to hear from you what your thoughts are on who they're going to be. But I also feel like your voice is such a perfect one for horse racing. Don't you want to do it in like a horse racer's like?
No, I'm not a commentator.
Voice?
I'm not really a commentator.
You got one of those voices. I think we'll just be able to like run through those names really fast.
Yes, name them. You like throwing me that hospital pass.
You're on my show, and now we're in an entertainment show. Let's entertain us while learning about betting.
Okay, I didn't come to make a fool of myself. But what I can say is that this year's race is really an open race.
Yeah.
And if you look at the betting, the odds are 9-2, the favourite in the race, which is really wide betting for it. There's no real pinpoint to say this horse has got a really good chance.
Okay.
So it's basically everything in the race has really got some type of chance, and everybody will be making a case for something to win. I think we need to look for some value somewhere. When I say value, where you get a bigger return for your investment.
Yeah.
And I got a sneaky feeling for a horse at 14-1.
Okay.
She's a filly called Nightingale.
So just keep an eye out for Nightingale as well.
I've got a sneaky feeling. If I was having a bet, if I was a punter and I wasn't a bookmaker, then maybe I would consider putting a few rand each way, because if she finishes in the first 4, and you take a place bet, then you still win.
Okay, so up to 4 is a place bet?
Correct.
Oh my word, amazing.
So first, second, third or fourth, and you win on a place bet.
I refuse to only look good and strut down the grass. I'm now going to put money on these different races that I go to. So thanks for sharing all this information. I've learned a lot from you, Dean. Thank you.
Look forward to seeing you.
Sure. He won't make a fool of himself on the show, but I will. On your marks, get set and go as we start the journey into the heart of the Vodacom Durban July. It's one of the most spectacular and over-the-top sporting events on the South African calendar every single year. Now, guests are invited to enjoy a day filled with fabulous fashion, groundbreaking music and horse racing like no other, and it's all going down this weekend.
Well, I'm certainly excited for the Durban July. You're going this year?
I'm definitely going.
Outfits planned, hat, horse baiting tips.
No hat, but outfits.
And you're going to be training, so
I'll be
so
training.
Sacrifice.
No such luck for me. Love to.
Okay. How many hours are you training a day?
Between 3 and 4 hours a day. I
Okay.
can find those.
All right. And you train in the ocean, in the cold.
Swimming pool and the ocean. A lot of
Okay.
times between Robben Island and Bloberg, just to get that real feel, and then the rest of the time in the swimming pool.
Okay. Well, I'm inspired. I'm going to get on that treadmill and in the swimming pool and close my eyes and try and mentally prepare myself like you do.
Send
Just
a
to
Like
get
such a
close.
wuss. Every time I end up in Cape Town and want to swim in the waters, I just can't bring myself to do it. I can't. The toe goes in, he's like, ooh, no, done. I'm just going to
You can
end up on the
picture
beach.
Danilo in the
No.
Okay, but now speaking about exercise and training and fitness, you've got a remarkable fitness range out.
So much.
Tell us about it and how did it come about?
I've always liked fashion, but I couldn't
Yeah.
do it because obviously I told you about my older sister, who's like a mother to me. She's a fashion designer in Eastern Cape. So I couldn't do it because she is. And I had to choose between fashion designing and drama. And I think I love drama more. And then now that I'm in the fashion industry, someone asked me on Twitter, was it just an opportunity because you are now famous? I'm like, no. I feel like if God gives you a talent, why not you do other things with the God-given talent that you have? And because he doesn't, I don't think he just wants us to do one thing. He gives you this and it opens so many other doors.
Exactly.
Because I love Jimwe.
But the range itself is different. It's not the range for like people like Jeannie who just have God-given genes with her talent, with her.
Are you joking? I'm
You
not
work hard.
naturally this amazing.
This takes effort.
I have to work really hard. I train every single day. I eat really well. I only eat carbohydrates on
I'm
my
that
day.
kid in this lot. You making me feel guilty. You make me feel guilty. But
No,
you've
but it
decided
is hard work.
You've decided for the woman who's got a fuller body, right?
For every kind of woman. But I use myself as a model because I'm curvaceous. I don't want to use Jeannie because bigger women are going to say, oh my gosh, she just designs for Jeannie, for the smaller girls. I don't wanna
Darling,
use-
I've got more curves than what most people will know what to do with.
It's all about the express cooking, I tell you.
And I also don't want to use a bigger woman as a model because now Jeannie's going to think she can't buy it.
Yeah.
You order on our online store, and then you tell us your size, how tall you are. We do exactly what you
brilliant.
want. If you want a jersey that to me shows this part, shows my waist, because I love showing my waist, you tell me that, no, Asanda, I want it to hide my waist. That's how we do it. So we do orders as per
Custom
order.
making.
Amazing. And are you actually that interested in fitness? Like, do you train? Or are you one of those girls that just like being your active wear the whole day and going for lunch and coffees
No,
in your
I
active wear?
train. I really do train. I go to Virgin Active.
Okay.
I train, and I feel like if I do not go to gym, I get my customers more there at gym more than anywhere else.
Oh, yeah, of
I don't just walk in the morning and see me wearing
Live
it.
the
and
brand.
Yes, I believe in that. So they feel like they always think that I'm wearing my brand even though I'm not wearing it, and it pushes them to buy.
So I think this is now a great opportunity for you to get into business with her, to do a nice Ryan Stramrud branded
Yeah, exactly.
speedo.
Something, my speedo with a fuller body bun like mine, you know. I want a fuller body bun.
If you've got a little bit of meat in your tojas.
Yeah, you want the thing to pull
I'll stick to what I know. You can guide me, but I'm very happy with my Dermical partnership, so thank you. My skin's looking great, everything's working.
Yeah, you
I
do
must
everything.
ask you, because a lot of people have been tweeting me to say they're so excited to see you back. It's been quite a while since you've been on camera again. Are you going to go back? Are you going to go back to being
I'm
an
definitely going
actress?
back. I just got a new agent. I wasn't really focusing on getting back. I think I was just...
It hurt you too much to kind of, want to...
Yeah, I was like, okay, let me just chill a bit and see where God takes me. And I feel like this is my time. And I just got a new agent, lead artist management, and I joined them today, and tomorrow they got me on an audition. So I've been to 2 already, and I just joined them like now.
Okay, so you're still going to be trying to go to auditions and seeing if you get
Yes,
back on it.
and I'm going back to TV now, Danilo. Yes,
Good
next
for
year.
you. Well, good for you. We want to see you back on our
Thank you
screens.
so much.
And we wish you the best. We're very
Thank
grateful
you so
that you're
much.
staying strong and staying positive.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And all the best for you.
Ryan, in terms of your career itself, I mean, if we all want to break into, I've always been interested to know how extreme sort of athletes get themselves through like an entire career, because you guys have to work so hard in what you do already to try and think about sponsors and getting all that stuff on board must be quite a long journey. Is it something viable for youngsters who are wanting to break into something new, just do something that they love, like
Interesting
sports?
question. Firstly, I run an advertising business. That's my core, and that's what keeps me going. Swimming was always just a hobby, and pushing myself was always just something for me deeply personal. And then I started sharing the story which put me on the speaking circuit, and it's kind of changed my life. So, but I still very much have a rock solid business that I've run for 17
Good
years.
advice. Make sure you're doing something on the side too.
Indeed.
Amazing. We've had such a cool show today, unpacking all of these stories about health and looking after our skin, and it's so nice to have you also on the show because being a guy, a lot of guys think like, oh, that's such a metrosexual thing to do, whatever. It's really important to look after your skin just before the nature of what it does for your body.
Yeah.
Not getting
Danilo is very good with his skin. He even uses these fingers when he applies his cream like this. He's very good. It's important. Well done. But thank you so much for being on the show. We loved having you. And of course, we loved having you join us. We're, of course, going to be back again tomorrow. Same time, same place. The stage is yours on SABC3. Good night and happy eating.
Bye. Love ya.
You didn't make us anything.
Coming up tomorrow on Afternoon Express, we sit down with Pop Group 4, the winners of X Factor South Africa's Season 1. Plus, we look at a brand new acting reality show called The Final Cut. So join us again tomorrow at 4 p.m. on SABC3.
Another feel-good production.